Hunt Showdown does a fantastic job of standing out in the crowd of first-person shooters, thanks in large part to its immersive sound design. There are many unique elements to Hunt Showdown, including the in-depth lore of the game. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to find out more about the lore. While we have challenging AI where one mistake can cost you your hunter, the high-risk, high-reward gameplay, weapons feel heavy and winning PvP fights feels more rewarding than any other first-person shooter I've played. The bounty hunt raid style missions allow a sandbox-like experience. Want to forget the mission and go full PvP? Do it! Want to focus on daily quests? Great, you can do that too. This style of game is growing in popularity. We have Tarkov, Marauders is coming out soon, and many other games are adopting this type of play, although some are best forgotten. Yet the one thing that's missing is a single-player campaign mode. This will give players a chance to explore the story of Hunt Showdown in more detail, learn more about legendary hunters, while providing yet another unique first-person shooter experience. Unfortunately, it's likely this will never happen. However, for those of us wanting to scratch that itch of a gunslinging hardcore FPS game with challenging AI and creepy lore, our prayers have been answered. I present to you Blood West.
Hell is empty and all the devils are here. So, it's just me, my gun, and whatever is out there. Time to paint the world dark red.
In Blood West, you play as an undead gunslinger who has been brought back to life by mysterious supernatural entities. You have no recollection of who you are or how you died. Instead, you are ripped from the afterlife and forced to assist the spirits who resurrected you. Their quest to cleanse the land of the evil blight that has taken hold. And before you ask, no, you don't have a choice in the matter. The curse that has fallen over the desert lands of Blood West brings the dead back to life, causes the local inhabitants to turn into bloodthirsty monsters, and allows spirits to roam freely in our reality. However, there are riches to be made for those daring enough to venture into the infested places of Blood West. In contrast to Hunt's highly detailed maps, where if you don't pay attention you'll miss some horrifying, gruesome detail, the graphics in Blood West are heavily retro. This is something I think works well with the gameplay. At times it feels like a retro shooter and fills players with nostalgia. At least if you're ancient like me, it does. While at times the space in the map can feel empty, it's obviously a deliberate decision to set the atmosphere. We're in a desert during the 1800s after all. These open spaces allow for a brief respite from the hordes of mutated enemies, and there's plenty of areas swarming with monsters to keep you on your toes. Blood West does a fantastic job of filling a gap in the market with its hardcore first-person shooter gameplay that combines elements from other genres to make something truly unique. And I think those of us who want a single-player story mode to Hunt Showdown will not be disappointed. Although Blood West is currently in early access, many parts of the game feel polished, and this is demonstrated with its very positive reviews on Steam. So far I've come across no bugs or game-breaking glitches, but I'll be sure to add an update when and if I do. Players familiar with the heavy feel and sway of the weapons in Hunt Showdown will be right at home. Each weapon has its own sway and recoil feels just punishing enough to make you think before you shoot. It is fun to fire the weapons in this game, and the time between shots feeling fair and reload times something you need to make sure you're conscious of, plus headshots feel very satisfying. Similar to Hunt Showdown, there is an emphasis on sound. The smallest noise can alert a horde. Each movement in Blood West creates noise, and enemies will gradually hear you as you approach. Crouching of course affords more stealth with your footsteps, whereas sprinting will alert enemies quicker. There is also a line of sight meter which allows players to consider their next steps carefully. Enemies are well designed, each one deadly and twisted from the depths of human nightmares. There are sheriffs warped into bird-like monsters, zombies who have not quite managed to escape their coffins, and women of the saloon who wear metal masks and carry revolvers, each enemy presenting their own unique challenge. The Steam page for Blood West describes it as an immersive horror FPS. Whilst it certainly feels this way, there are RPG and survival elements as well. Blood West is full of quests and side quests, all hidden within a large open-ended map. There are also sandbox elements, and much like Hunt Showdown, you are encouraged to play your way. Although stealth is strongly encouraged, and may have its advantages in both games, it is not the only way to play. If you want to run around blasting enemies with a shotgun and lobbing sticks of dynamite at their faces, then that's exactly what you should do. Just don't be surprised when a horde comes charging at you, hungry for your blood. You progress in the game through gaining XP, which you can then spend to unlock perks, which have a direct impact in-game. And this sounds oddly familiar, but this kind of progression feels necessary as the difficulty level progresses quickly with an increasing number of a variety of enemies. Inventory management is also a priority, with the constant need to keep on top of things. You can of course upgrade this. Players also have the option to purchase or find upgraded weapons and items. However, Hunt Showdown is not the only game that Blood West draws inspiration from. There is a hint of Dark Souls about it. Throughout the world there are checkpoints where you can rest and refill your health, and where you'll return upon your inevitable death. However, Blood West is slightly more forgiving because we don't lose money or XP upon death, and the enemies don't automatically respawn upon rest. They do, however, respawn over time, which does make grinding for XP tricky, which is something I feel works well with this game. It takes a lot of XP to level up, and easily grinding levels would remove the heart of the game. All of these familiarities are a good thing. The lore hidden in the game that you can piece together as you progress is a formula I am very fond of. Little notes reveal lore about the world and about the monsters. Quests allow us to learn more about NPCs and also guide us through the game. There may even be the odd Easter egg hidden throughout the map. I strongly recommend trying Blood West if a single player Hunt Showdown campaign is something you are after. I believe this game is the closest thing we'll ever get to it.